Not nothing special, I think. I mean, I think we can probably pick up where we left off, uh,
Where was
unless you
that?
have
I
something in
think
mind.
we finished this unreachable
Wow.
change. And we were kind of going through the code, explaining it to what's their name?
Oh yeah, William.
William,
William.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, but William's not here, so I guess leave that for later.
Hmm.
Uh, so what is there to do here? There's a bunch of to dos. Uh, for the diagrams, we probably need that optional sequence thing,
Yeah.
and otherwise, I guess the main thing to do is the line breaking algorithm, which I still don't have any idea how to do.
Well, yeah.
Um, so let's maybe pick a nice example of where some line breaking would help. And then another thing that I was thinking about is, well, maybe let's do that instead. Uh, Another thing I was thinking about is putting it in the look-aheads and seeing
Ah, yes.
how that would work. So if I want to do look-aheads, then for positive and negative look-ahead, uh, I'll probably want to do a new class. Positive look-ahead and the same thing for negative look-ahead. It's
Oh, cool.
probably not necessary for cut. And these two things will be leaves. No, will be decorators. Like things that only contain one other thing. What should the precedence be for look aheads? Every node type needs a precedence,
Oh,
and I guess it would be the same as repeat, similar to repeat.
suppose, right? Because it's a match. It's a.
Right. Well, let's try to
It's
do
like a
that.
simple. Yeah.
Uh, just check it in there. And of decorators, so we need positive look ahead. This will be the look ahead then. And to format a look ahead, let's just check how it's done in the grammar. The ampersand for positive. And bang for negative. And now we can look at the diff, which is pretty big.
Hmm.
So, right, so in compound statements, it says that function definitions must begin with either a def uh, or that or async, but I guess all of those are, yeah, I guess these are the only ways a function def can begin. Let me make this a bit bigger.
Right.
For if statement, there's a look ahead in this if. For class definition, there's again the only ways a class definition can begin with. The same with statement, for statement, try, while. So I guess these are there only for optimization. But if we were very clever and we wanted to compute how a function definition can begin, we could, figure out that these are there only for optimization. Now, what changed in the block here? A simple statement cannot have this
semicolon
after it, because if it did, it would become this thing. Maybe we can figure out. Maybe we can add a rule for that to collapse them again. Right, because if this has a semicolon after it, it matches this rule, so it's still redundant. Maybe we could collapse it like here. Now what's next? This with item.
Oh, I guess if it can be a sequence or it can be the end.
Right. And I guess these are probably the only thing that can
come at the end of
things that can follow a with item. And if we were really clever, we should probably be able to figure that out.
Shouldn't there be a new line at the end of the with? Seems a little bit strange.
There's a block.
A block. Oh, I see how it works. Okay.
A block either has a new line and indents or just one statement.
Okay.
Well, the with item, I guess, is just used here. So it can be followed by commas or the close paren or the colon.
Colon.
Yeah, it should be possible to write a function or some method to compute what with item ends with, and then somehow get rid of this look ahead here. Probably won't be easy though. Right, in literal pattern, a side number cannot be followed by plus or minus. Which,
well, that, yeah.
How could we get rid of that? We should probably look at all the uses of literal pattern and figure out that it cannot be followed by one of these. And if it can't, then we can get rid of this look ahead. That's sounds complicated though. I don't know if I want to complicate this.
Can it be followed by, can a sign number be followed by anything?
Excuse me?
Can it be followed by anything at all? A signed
Lit
number?
a literal pattern?
Oh, I suppose it's literal. Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we need
Okay.
to look at where literal pattern appears in the grammar,
Yeah.
right? Like go through all of the occurrences, and I guess it's one of the choices in closed pattern. So we need to look at what closed pattern is allowed to, or what can follow a closed pattern, and
Hmm.
that would be, so there's, it's in a gather, so it can be followed by the pipe,
I see.
or this is the end, so whatever or pattern can be all followed by. So that would
Oh.
be,
Oh. Okay.
this as, unless there's something, some other occurrence of or pattern. So that would be as, or whatever pattern can be followed by, and so on and so on. And I guess we won't find a plus or minus in the set of tokens that can follow this literal pattern. And if we can prove that we can get rid of this look ahead automatically. Now, pattern capture target, that's a different story. I guess we could do the same thing for the stuff that follows it. Maybe. Oh, probably not. Maybe both of these are important, actually. Because if it's a name... Okay, I'm not that sure about this part, but the fact that it cannot be an underscore is important. Because name could be an underscore, and it has a different meaning here. So it would be nice to keep this one. And there's value pattern. This is probably just for optimizations. This thing as well. I guess. And then we get to the function definition, which have this new line with a new line and indent. Look ahead. That's interesting. Wait, I think I know where this is coming from. Let's look at function definitions in the grammar. Function deferral. Right, this is the function type comment. And function type comment has a new line, type comment, new line indent. Right. But I guess we already talked about type comment, right?
Yes.
So the parser doesn't generate type comment, or the tokenizer doesn't generate type comments in normal operations, which means I think that we shouldn't use empty for type comment. We should use unreachable, right? If the tokenizer doesn't
Oh, yeah.
generate this, we can't parse it. So let me do
Right.
one thing. Let me comment out these lookaheads again, so we get a clean diff. Nope. Oh, we should return empty here instead. So that's a clean diff, and let's put unreachable in here and see what changes. And the only thing that changes is function definition no longer has this weird new line, optional new line before the block, which is great. Is it clear what that new line was for? I guess not. So
Well,
if I have a function definition,
yeah, sure. Then you have to put a new line.
right?
Oh,
I can
I
do
see.
this. I can do that.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, that's true.
And
Okay.
I can also do this. And I can also say the type of this function is, I don't know how you
Yeah,
annotate that.
sure.
But if this type comment is a token, then I get an extra new line here and here. Right, and I can also put the type comment here, in which case I don't get a new line. So there are two options to write this, and you can see that in the grammar. So it's either new line type comment, and then we need an indented block, right? I can't do a non-indented block somehow.
Right.
If I do that, no, if I do this, I need an indented block afterwards. And if it's just type comment, so I guess this one is just the type comment, and this one is with the new line. Anyway, it's weird that the comments become tokens. So.
Yeah, it is weird. I don't know that I certainly haven't used a type comment.
Nobody does. So it has a weird history. When MyPy was starting, they had their own parser. Just so that they could parse this type comments. And then Guido said, we have to maintain our own parser and we have to keep it in sync with the Python grammar. And there's just like two little changes we need to make. So let's put it into Python and add a new mode for the parser and tokenizer. And overall, it's easier to maintain that.
Yeah, yeah.
But you only need it if you're MyPy or some other type checker. So this is a nice change. That made things a little less confusing. So let's put that in without all the lookaheads that I started. So type comment reachable, the tokenizer doesn't edit. Right, and now we can go back to the lookaheads. we ended at this function definition, which is now the same. And yeah, so what this does is instead of optional comma, which is wrong, we now get either comma or end at all of these parameters. And we talked about this this hack before, and this is definitely more correct than optional comma between parameters. So all this is saying that in terms of the grammar, every parameter needs to end with a comma, except if it's the last one and it's followed by the closing parentheses. So yeah, this is definitely more correct. What did I do? Next up, we have Adam saying that strings here must be started by string or if string start, and I think that's the only tokens that strings can start with. Then we have tuple, group, or generator expression, and those can start with an open parentheses. Lists can only start with this thing. Dicts and set with that. Like, I guess these are only for optimization. And maybe we can even use this little tool to verify that this is only for optimization. Now, named expressions got a look ahead, got a negative look ahead for the walrus operator, because if it's that, then we need an assignment expression. So I assume this is also optimization only, because if it wasn't parsed as an assignment expression, but it did parse as an expression, and it has a walrus operator after the expression, then there's really no need to parse further because we know it wasn't assignment, so that failed. So it's a syntax error.
Okay.
So hopefully this is optimization only. Now for if clause. So this is the for clause in generators and list comprehensions and stuff. And it says,
oh, cool,
that what is this? Start targets in disjunction. Ooh. Let's look at the original here. This is interesting. Versing for start targets and disjunction for this one, I guess. Start targets in disjunction, or it can be start targets in disjunction followed by if disjunction, or it can be for and then a bunch of bitwise or. Oh, Oh, this is bad. This is bad. So this rule, basically, if you have a 4, but you don't have an in after that 4,
Hmm.
it looks like valid syntax from the grammar, but the rule for the action for this rule is raising a syntax error. Right, so if you I
Oh.
mean if you probably if you look in the full grammar syntax, yep, it shows up in here. So the current Python documentation says this is valid syntax for the for clause in a list comprehension, but it's not. When the parser sees this, it'll raise a syntax error.
Oh, wow, that is bad. So
Yeah.
you,
I wonder if we have more like those. Um, Whoa.
oh, we should put star targets in there. Is that right? For
Uh,
what should it say, in other words? For star targets, uh-huh.
Star targets in um, disjunctions separated by if. Right, so
Oh,
it's
oh, oh, I see.
for targets in
Okay,
uh, some expression, and then you can have if something, if something, if something, like any number of ifs. So
right,
the first one of these is the sequence, and the rest is the conditions.
right.
Uh, but if instead of that you have after the for a comma separated uh, sequence of expressions, like this is kind of expression, and you don't have
Yeah.
an in after them, then things go boom. Ooh. Okay,
Huh.
need to fix this. Is there any more of these in the grammar? Oh, right. So type parameters have a
Should we open an issue? I mean, it seems like it's kind of a big deal. Should we open an issue and then fix it, or
I mean,
do you want to raise visibility that this is something that I mean, I don't know that it maybe it doesn't happen in the wild, but I suppose it could.
no, well, the only problem is it appears in the full grammar specification in the docs. Like, this is the only
Oh,
place where that's wrong.
oh, I see.
And yeah, the uh, my tool will not fix that. My tool will not
Right.
touch this page. It won't fix
No,
that.
of course not.
So yeah, it should probably be fixed separately somehow. Let me just see if there's more of those. So there's the for if clause, and then there's the invalid rules. Hmm. So it's used in type parameters, and it's used in for if clause. Let's look at the history. Ooh. For if clause, and this was added in January.
That's fairly recent.
I can look at the pull request that added it. Confusing syntax error message. Right, so the initial approach was this, but Pablo said it doesn't work. Because of this comment. Blah 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 blah. This looks pretty deep. So there's no mention of this not being an invalid rule. So maybe it just wasn't considered. Well, let's try if it changes something, right? So if I take this and move it into invalid for target here, and do the same thing for type parameter, I can probably do or invalid type param, and I don't think I need to put it in the section below. That's just to make things that's just to make things or to group things together. So if I add these here and write make regen, what's the make rule? Regen the generator, regenerate the grammar, which should give us a giant diff like this. So there's a parser.c which is generated, and it has some weird numbers, definitions that all got renumbered, and yeah, very generated code, this thing. And if I make things now and run the test, which will take a while, about 3 minutes, yeah, it changes stuff. Now it says syntax error unexpected after for loop variables. So this expected cannot assign to expression. but got
Mm.
unexpected after for loop variables. Ooh. So yeah, this changes stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of invalid syntax, we get in. Right. Now the problem here is that these are not really for loop variables.
Oh, because they're
Yeah, this
comprehension.
is not this some expression like call a D, and this is a tuple of values.
Oh.
It's not something you can assign to, right? Neither is this. That's
Oh my gosh.
I smaller than an empty tuple is a valid expression, but you can't assign to it. And here, I guess the n is missing entirely.
It makes me want to back away slowly from the keyboard.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a horrible error message, but it's. I mean, otherwise it
I'm
just says
sure it'll make.
invalid syntax or cannot assign to. Well, this one is better. Probably. No, it's not. It's not really. If you write this, the for with something weird without an in, and you get
Yeah.
unexpected after for loop variables, it's fine. You add in an in, and afterwards you get cannot assign to expression. I think that would be good.
Yeah. Eventually, you end up back on the road
Yeah.
after
And
a brief
here,
detour.
yeah, unexpected after for loop variable, and this isn't exactly a variable, but if you add an in, you'll get invalid syntax, or you should get cannot assign to expression, probably even. Maybe this is not the valid kind of expression. Who knows? But then you get invalid syntax. And here, yeah, you have variables here. There's just unexpected afterwards. Oh, there's more. Maybe we could get some worse errors after this. What is this? Oh, this is for the parameter specification. Here we get syntax error expected. That, and you get cannot use bound. Session error cannot use bound with param spec does not match. Yeah, so we should get cannot use bound with param spec here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And instead we get expected opening brace. So this is definitely a worse error message than this one. Same thing here. Then test scheduler with policy. Oh, that's just my broken environment. Don't worry about that. I don't know why test process failed. But anyway, yeah. So there's the the easy fix is not available.
Mm.
So I guess, I guess the best thing to do is open a documentation issue for Python. And then the question is, do we switch and concentrate on that issue and trying to solve it, or do we continue, or we just leave it in the pile of open issues and continue here? Because one way to solve that would be to introduce some kind of flag here, say
Oh, interesting.
invalid, which would make it not appear in the documentation. I guess
Oh,
the
that's
other way to solve this would be to look in the rule, and if it starts with raise syntax error, then omit it. The problem is the documentation is generated by, or the omissions are done by a syntax highlighter. So I don't know how to program syntax highlighters.
um. Well, I guess that I guess it boils down to if we think of this as an in-depth tutorial, I'm thinking about the recording. If we think about this from in terms of like an in-depth tour of how to deal with the docs, then it might be worth going off and looking into how to fix this. Uh, Otherwise, we can go back and do more of this. Well, I guess it is. Well, it's a diversion. In other words, I'm thinking if somebody comes back and looks at the work, will they think of this as a diversion from the main objective?
Well, I'm not really opposed to
Uh,
diversions, but
yeah. Okay. I mean, it certainly makes for an interest. I mean,
but I don't know if I want to touch the syntax highlighter that's hiding information from the docs. That's,
yeah.
yeah, let's I don't know where this even lives.
Probably it's called in the conf.py under the. There's usually a section there for the.
ASDL highlight.
Yeah.
Right, extensions, ASDL highlight. Yeah, there's a pigments lexer. That somehow so it has a white space and then has a root which I don't know, is it even done here? Let's also look at the grammar.rst. Yeah, so this is literal include. So definitely includes the file. So if I look at the source, I don't see any of the omitted parts in here.
Hmm.
Well, that's good. Okay, so as a diversion, maybe let's look how this thing
Yeah.
works.
Is it one of the built-ins? Is this words built in?
So it
Oh no, never mind.
so literal includes should be a Sphinx thing, and
Yeah.
it just includes the Python grammar. So if I remove this language setting. Of course, now I should probably regenerate the grammar and remake Python. And oh, highlighting skipped because it thought it was Python syntax, which is it's definitely not. So if I turn off the highlighter, uh, I get these rules. Everything's in here. So it looks like it's definitely the language here somehow. And probably look into the pigments documentation about what this means.
Yeah.
There's white space, new lines, spaces, and single line comments. And then there's a root, which includes the white spaces,
And the
module,
module. Okay.
space, name, which is a keyword text name tag. Right, this looks like it's a regular expression, and then it assigns these classes to whatever
Oh,
is in the
okay.
regular expression. Types. And maybe whatever doesn't match is omitted.
Or skipped, right?
Oh, everything should match. There's the regex
Oh,
for
okay.
everything, which... Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. This is the ADSL lexer. I should be looking at the PEG lexer. Sorry,
Oh, I see. Okay.
my bad. This is the one. Ah, it's much more complicated.
Oh yeah, invalids, look aheads.
Ah, here it
Okay, got it.
is. Invalids, by groups, none, blah blah blah. Yeah, this is it. So, but again, so strips the following from the grammar meta tags, blah blah blah. Look aheads, rules named invalid or incorrect. But it should also strip options with rules with what's the spelling there? Race syntax error. Right?
Okay.
So actions, variables, invalids, root. So can we find the thing that rule options aren't. Hmm. So we strip lookaheads, which probably isn't correct. We strip some meta information, strip actions, okay, strip, no, we don't, we mark up strings, uh, we strip variables, strip invalid. So what is this? Ah, uh-huh. Here it is. So if a line starts with white space, then there's a pipe, and then there's white space, and then we have invalid something, then we remove that whole thing until the end of line. Huh. And what is this invalid syntax? Oh, that's a comment? Alright, that matches this comment.
Oh.
So if we want to remove rules that contain this race syntax error, then how do we do that? Probably needs to start with the pipe and then contain something, then the brace, then the brace syntax error, and then the ending brace, right? So let's see. White space, blah blah. Then we have brace, more white space. Well, then we can have anything at all. Well, maybe not anything at all. Maybe we don't want to end the brace here. And this is starting to look like a regular expression.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that.
Right. And this doesn't get translated, right? This will always be in English because it's.
Yeah, it's the grammar specification.
Yeah. Okay.
Now let's see. What was the rule we were looking at? Type parameter. No, it's still here. This is the invalid one.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I don't think I'm enough of a regular expression master here. No, should exclude. That's this. Exclude the closing brace and exclude it here as well. Ah, there it is.
Oh, it worked.
And we should probably exclude the new line at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks like it was easy to fix, and I hope it's the right fix because
Wow.
I, who wrote this? Was there some discussion about this file? Uh, so it's in doc tools extensions peg highlight.py. So let's see, remove unused imports, remove invalid rules. So here's,
Oh, preceded by more tokens.
this might be a nice uh, oh, 2 years ago. Is there any discussion? Those are not part of the shell grammar. We need to update the peg grammar highlighter to exclude it. Okay.
Oh, how
Makes
interesting.
sense. And Pablo's was doing that, so probably someone to consult on this. Fixed type group capture. Let's see if there was any discussion about this commit. No, just Pablo doing his stuff. Okay. Not even an issue for this. Improve error message for missing this before strings. Oh, so this added the force tokens. Look aheads. This added type information. Let's see how that went. Yeah, I guess this is not really looking. This is not really discussing the peg highlighter all that much. X invalid sequences in the peg highlight. And this is the commit that added this highlighter entirely.
Mm.
So let's look at that.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, there's a discussion from 4 years ago about bringing look-aheads back to the docs, only the ones that are significant. And there's no obvious automatic way to detect significant ones. A heuristic that is current, well, in 2020, 100% correct is that a look-ahead is only used for optimization and can be skipped if and only if it is a positive look-ahead and it appears first in its alternative. Although it's currently correct, it seems like something that could easily be invalidated in the future. Does this currently have look-aheads? It has negative look-aheads. Oh, it looks like they went with this heuristic. Interesting. Okay, looks like a friendly discussion. Anything on the bug? is just about removing the old parser. Okay, so what do I do now? I probably I probably save my progress in this branch and switch to another one. So what?
Yeah.
Let me use git GUI to add what I want. So these are the lookaheads. So want to add these. Don't want to add parser or python.gram, or want to save this thing. Or maybe I want to save this whole diff to apply it later. And this is about adding the lookaheads, so can just commit those. Right, and get rid of these changes. Now I switch to a new branch called skip error alts. I want to do that from origin main, so let's first fetch, just have an up-to-date branch to base this on. And here I want to apply this diff from earlier. And I didn't save the whole diff, so I need to do that manually. Oh no, I don't. I can just save this. I have it on my open in my editor. And this, I guess this isn't options but rules. And I guess this is the only change that needs to be made. But I need to somehow be sure that it only removes what it should remove. How do we do that? We look at the documentation. Copy everything that's here. Control C. Wait for Sphinx to process the entire documentation. Look at what it came up with and take all of this.
Oh, I see. And then do the diff.
And then do the diff. So, it looks like it changed a bunch of stuff. So let's look what that bunch of stuff was. So in function diff raw, did this async change recently? Should we look? Should we look at the current documentation? Ah, right. So Python 3.12 has an async token, but Python
Oh, right.
3.13 changed that. So do the whole thing again.
Oh, it changes in
Save
3.13?
this.
Oh, okay.
Ah, that's the current main. Alright. Oh, there we go. So, what did it get? Type param. So it got rid of this thing and that thing. That's good. For if clause, that's another one. We looked at this one, so it got rid of this. And then start expression. Oh, there's another ray syntax error here. Nice.
Wow.
Great. I copy this for safekeeping and go on to open an issue. So the first thing to do is check if this is already reported. So maybe search for if clause.
Mm. Oh, confusing syntax error message.
Yeah, that's the thing that added this
Oh.
rule.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I may or may not have forgotten it was today. Sorry.
Oh,
Hi, William.
sorry. I should have reminded you. We
Yeah,
started
no,
an
no.
hour earlier.
I asked Discord to remind me, but it didn't. So,
Oh,
Oh.
that sucks.
shame on them.
That does suck.
Wrong definition
Well,
of
we're
start
very.
expression and language reference. Ah.
I think.
My stream's still loading, so I can't see what you're doing.
Okay. Well, I
probably
think
need to...
you're going to want to see the recording because this is really juicy.
Oh.
I can get through it. So
Yeah,
what do I
yeah,
do?
sure.
I stop streaming on Discord and try again. Can you see me now?
Yes, I can.
Yes.
Wrong
Right.
version of start expression. Oh.
So, to get you up to speed, this is the full grammar specification in the current docs. Let's use the up-to-date one. So this is the currently in development version of Python. And if you look at the rule called for if clause, so this is the for clause in list comprehensions and stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with those.
Async for start targets in disjunction? Is it a
Yeah, so if you write, for example, 2 to the power of x for x in range 20, something like that. Right? So this part here is this thing, right? This one. It can be async this before it and async functions, right? You have some targets, then you have in, then you have the rule here, and then you can also say if x is odd or something like that. Right, so you can have multiple ifs in here. And what is this rule for? As optional async, and then you have bitwise or. Bitwise or is some kind of expression, and then a negative look ahead for in. And this doesn't
Okay.
make any sense. This should be invalid syntax.
Yeah, like ending in. What is the exclamation mark?
Exclamation
Is it
mark is
not?
negative look ahead, so there's no in here.
Negative look at it, right.
Right, and there should always
For.
be an in after the for. So yeah,
Yeah, no, yeah.
this doesn't
Yeah,
make any
absolutely.
sense. So what's the problem here? The problem here is if we look at the for if clause in the actual grammar, the rule is, so when the parser sees this, the rule for that is raising a
Oh!
syntax error.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Right? So of course in the documentation this looks like valid syntax, but it's not. Right?
How do we even fix this?
You can see that the actual source is different from what appears in the documentation, and it gets
Yes.
juicier from here. So the source for the documentation is this thing. It's a literal include, which is a Sphinx directive that just plops in this file and highlights it as peg grammar. And the highlighter strips the following elements from the grammar, right? So we have a syntax highlighter that uses this none for stuff that shouldn't appear there.
Oh god.
This is probably the biggest hack I've seen in the Python code base so far. It's really fun. Yeah, so here we are. This is actually already changed. It was already fixed, right? So
okay.
I added this comment, and I added this giant regular expression that I hope is correct. It's certainly correct for the current grammar. Then I did a diff, what changed, and indeed these are all the rules that raise syntax errors, or well, all of these rules raise syntax errors. I didn't actually check if there are any more. So there's the type param has 2, for if clause has 1, start expression has 1, and the rest is these invalid rules that are skipped anyway. So yep, checks out. So this fix is correct for the current grammar. And now I got into filing an issue for that. Isn't this fun? So there is actually so I searched for.
Isn't C Python?
Excuse me.
The issue is in C Python. Oh, right, C.
Yes.
I thought Python. Sorry. Yeah, no, C Python makes sense.
Mistake. So I searched for all these rule names that are affected, and the last one had an issue filed in 2021, and looks like nobody really looked at this. This is really so. This was converted from the old backtracker, and it's really hard to read. But because I'm a contributor, I can just edit this and make it easier to read. So according to this should be this. I guess this should be syntax. And this says according to language reference, its expression. Oh, this is about something else. This is about the thing we're fixing with the tool I'm making, probably. Right, so this is a different bug. Let's continue ignoring that one and file a new one. search for maybe reference, grammar, and there's a lot of that. There's a bunch of issues about that.
Oh my.
Well, good thing we're fixing it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe full grammar specification would be easier.
Lexical analysis.
Syntax diagram after EBNF.
Oh, that's old.
Yeah, somebody wanted this
What?
already.
That's really old.
Probably make a note to close this. Improve grammar description for the match statements. And this is something else. Lexical analysis page. Too many issues to go through. Well, I guess it's time to open a new issue and name it full grammar specification, lists, and valid syntax.
List comprehension, right? Or just lists?
Oh, there's 3 of them. That was just an example.
Oh, I see.
Full grammar specification. Let's use the one. Oh, let's use that. Lists. These rules. And let's just plop this in. However, some of these are valid. The grammar file we should look at here.
Bye.
Did you close the syntax block?
Oh, the code block.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, that would show up in the. Can I do EBNF here? No, that's.
Peg maybe?
I don't think GitHub knows peg.
No.
That's
Oh,
fine.
God, let's switch.
That's pretty readable. For example, let's actually use the file we linked. know the terminology. Is rule this thing or the alternative here?
I think one production rule is.
Oh, this is
I
a
don't know.
right. This is a production.
I think so. I think the whole thing is a production rule. I mean, technically both are correct. It's just that one production rule is a union of. Well, there's two answers. Yeah. Union of other sub rules. I think.
Well, I guess we don't really need to be correct in the nomenclature here.
We use linguists to perform language detection. Okay, so this. How linguist works? No.
Do we want to refer to the other
Yeah, hang on,
the discussion?
It should detect DBNF actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it does, but it doesn't do anything useful because this is a modified DBNF.
Oh. Okay,
right,
fine.
if we did this, then it probably would work. No.
Nah.
Well, that's a shame.
EBNF is valid, but doesn't do anything useful.
No. We carry on.
I'll just keep it plain. Okay.
Aren't all of these rules? Hang on, wait. Aren't all of these rules invalid syntax?
No, just some of these.
Oh, I see. Some of these.
Some of
yeah,
the
I understand.
alternatives?
These alternatives. Yeah, I agree with this more.
Yeah, so this is the issue, and can start a fix. Do I have this diff safe? That wasn't easy to get, yes. So the diff is adding, the comment and this race syntax error here. When I when I do a pull request, I should always put in the issue to link that. Skip error.
Sorry, what is this GH code you wrote before? Is the oh, it's the issue code? I see.
That's the issue code, yeah. So GitHub can GitHub highlights these, as you probably know, and it also highlights GH dash this number in the same way.
I didn't actually know. I never really messed with GitHub that deeply.
Oh, well. So if you
in
do
that real environments, I
do this,
mostly use it for
then
toy
GitHub will
projects.
link it.
Oh, that's nice.
You can do fixes, blah blah blah, and it does the same with GH.
I see.
Which is nice because we've changed bug trackers in the past, so this makes it obvious which numbering scheme I'm using.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also you can also add custom ones per project, so we can link to peps and stuff.
Well, that's nice.
So this is custom only for Python. I guess that's it. Push it to my branch. say that I'm not too comfortable. Piling on hacks. But this highlight rule. What's the wording there?
Production
Strips.
rule.
Strips all the syntax there. And we can add the diff. Shall I put it here?
Does the header metadata not matter in the diff?
So this is just for the comment. So this is a diff of the rendered page.
I see. Okay.
Right, I just copied from here.
Okay.
From the result and diffed that.
Oh, that's neat. I didn't know GitHub did that with the highlighting diffs.
Yeah, you can highlight diffs.
I mean, it makes sense. Like that's yeah, that makes a lot of sense for Git to do.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I also didn't know that diff was a an option for the language. That's sweet.
And I should probably ask Pablo for a review since it was his idea. Let's go. Now we should get a bot link the issue. Right, and we get something wrong, and the failed CI is news. There's no news entry for this. I don't want a news entry for it. So we say skip news. And let's also mark this as stocks. Right. And well, let's see if Pablo gets to it. I think he's busy nowadays, so might not. Right, so that was, I guess that was it for the diversion. Anything else?
Wasn't too bad, actually.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I guess I was just scared of regular expression. So let's switch back. And do the same thing for us, right? Because well, there's one thing in progress, which is adding the look aheads. But I guess removing these should take priority.
Yeah, well, how would you... Is there a git command to just apply one commit off another branch? Like, it sounds like a rebase, but it doesn't go all the way back to the common ancestor.
Right, it's called cherry pick.
Yeah, cherry pick.
But I don't really care about this page in my branch. Like the full grammar specification, I'm not touching that. So that's an independent commit. I don't really need that in my branch. I will save the work in progress for the lookaheads. That I kind of started doing, and go to the commit before it, which is type comment is unreachable. And now I want to update the tool so that when I generate, I need to regenerate everything, right? So that when the tool generates that for, is that in expressions? What was the name? For
if clause?
For if clause.
Yeah, what's right on the screen?
Yeah, for if clause. Then I don't get this part here. So this is the simplified form, right? The original was, where do I look at the original? Here, or in here. So there's async, and then there's this part which is repeated here. So that means this async is optional.
One part, sorry. You can go ahead.
And then I guess this part gets simplified as well. So we get optional async for start targets in blah blah blah, and then this part is the thing we're trying to remove.
Right. So can you go back to the previous tab real quick? There's one thing I don't. What is this minus doing in the middle of the?
Oh, that's a tilde. That's a wavy line.
Oh.
And that is a cut. So cut means commit to the current alternative even if it fails to parse.
Oh.
Right, so that means if we get as far as the in here, it doesn't make sense to try anything else.
Okay, interesting.
And the tool is removing the cuts currently, just like lookaheads. I need to look into the lookaheads, but I think you can safely ignore the cuts. Maybe we shouldn't. Anyway, task at hand is removing this part here. So what do we do there? We need to look into the rule of the grammar node. Let's look at the metagrammar. So this is the metagrammar, or the grammar of the grammar. And it says that, well, the action here is the part in the curly braces that says what to do. Right, so this is actually C code. And
yes.
the metagrammar is, it's, well, this is, this apparently matches all valid C expressions.
Really?
Now C is a very, well, it doesn't disallow invalid C, so it's much easier, right? So it basically needs to keep track of nested parentheses, and that's it.
Yeah, makes sense.
This is probably more verbose than it could be. So then let's look at the grammar.py, which should be the AST nodes for this. And where do we find action here? Action. So an RHS-AST node will have, no, no, alts will have actions, right?
Right.
And the action is an optional string. Nice. I guess if we look at the metagrammars, it just pastes together the string values of everything it finds. Yeah. Oh yeah, these are actually actions in the metagrammar. So yes, all this does is keep track of nestings. Name, number, string, and operators that aren't parentheses. Okay. Right. So we get the action as a string, and I guess we need to textually look into Ray's syntax error, which can be Ray's syntax error starting from, or just Ray's syntax error. So that's a heuristic, but I don't think we can do much better unless we like allow some notes in here, but then we'd have to change the metagrammar and the parser, and I don't really want that. So in this alt, we say if this node's action contains Ray's syntax error, then we return our handy unreachable.
Wouldn't it be best to... I guess it's unreachable in some sense, so I guess it's fine. I was about to suggest creating a new category for this, but I think unreachable is actually fine.
Unreachable means parsing this will raise a syntax error, basically.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh, maybe not. Well, yeah, so unreachable appears in type comments, which is, maybe I should write this.
Ignored.
The tokenizer doesn't emit these. So it's in a special mode. Another unreachable is for invalid rules, which we ignore. And the other unreachable appears if all of the alternatives in a choice are unreachable.
Wait. That chain assignment to support in Python? I thought you needed walrus for that.
Where?
Up in line 5.
No.
Yeah.
Assigns this to both things.
Yeah. No, I know what it does. I just sworn it was invalid.
Well,
yeah, we try to blow the mind once a week, but sometimes we skip it.
Let's link the issue here. Okay, and let's see what that.
Uh-oh.
Oh, the action can be none.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, right, yeah, because it's optional.
And what does that do for us? So in the for if clause, it removed this part, and then the type parameter, it removed more stuff. So there's some heavy simplification here. So let's look at the original grammar simplification.
Does it raise a different type of error? Because I thought there were three, right? Three instances of that.
So this is name and an optional type param bound, or this or that, and these are invalid, like without the colon thing. Right, so before there was optional star or double star, a name, and then optional expression. And the new variant is either you have name colon expression, or I guess the ones with the colon here are invalid. So you can have name with an expression or star double star name. That makes much more sense. Happy about that. But what was the other one? Start expression. We didn't get a change for start expression. Oh, maybe we did. Maybe it's inlined. So where does start expression appear? In args.
The args.
Function call argument, so it should be expression. Start expression. Star expression. Wait, why didn't we get a diff for that? So here the expression should be optional. That's weird. Oh, and
Huh.
Was it changed recently?
So
yeah.
This is an invalid expression, but it doesn't. Oh, it's because it has one extra level in direction. Is that it? Yeah, because the action is yeah. Crap. Oh no! How do we deal with that? Do we actually search every child node for an action that has that?
No, this is handled somewhere else. Let's look at the log in origin main for start expression. Right, this is it. So on April the 2nd, the invalid rule was added, and my branch predates that. I started this effort a long time ago, so
okay.
I don't have this yet. Maybe I should update.
I mean, theoretically, this should work as it is, right? Because the code will auto-generate stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The updating shouldn't be that bad. Yeah, but all of these invalid rules, there's already a rule because there's a lot of those. They're used for better error messages, right? So there's invalid rules. Like a lot of the file is invalid rules.
Interesting.
And these are actually special cased in the parser itself. So Python actually has two parsers. One of them omits these invalid rules, and if that one fails to parse, then the source gets reparsed by the parser that includes these, and the error message from that is shown to the user. So the first part is faster if it's successful, but if it's not, you get a nice error message.
So the first parser emits the tokens that
the first parser just ignores all the invalid rules.
Oh, okay, it ignores. Okay.
Right. And so the tool I have here has this, if we get a name or reference to a production rule that starts with invalid, We say it's unreachable. Just a minute.
I see.
So where do we get? If the action contains syntax error, so this is probably better with the getter.
Oh.
Bit shorter.
I wouldn't say it's more readable to me, but maybe
not
I'm
get
just
out of the
not.
attribute exists. Sorry. Or.
Oh. Oh.
That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking
Actually,
about.
no. Wouldn't that raise a? No, no, no. It wouldn't. Yeah, no. That's right. That's right. It can be.
So
none.
if this is none or the empty string, it gives you the empty string.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Of course, this relies on the fact that the C macro for raising a syntax error is named. Its name contains this string, and this string is not used for anything else. But
and
the
there's
parser
no
is already full of
shenanigans, and there's no way of ternary shenanigans in the C code.
There's no way of what?
No ternary, like three-way operator or any ifs or shenanigans in the C code.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, there definitely could be an if. So yeah, that's a heuristic. I guess it's a good thing that we filed this issue here, because the maintainer of the grammar will hopefully notice and maybe we can make this heuristic official. Right, if raise syntax error appears in the action, then it should always raise syntax error. Okay.
I think my time has come. Sadly,
I was
set
thinking.
an alarm.
I was thinking the same. We have 5 minutes, and it's probably not worth it to start something new.
Okay, so sorry for being late. I guess I should add more alarms than what I already have.
Just add
But yeah,
an
I'll see you
alarm.
all next week.
I'm sorry, I considered pinging you when we started, but now I'll do it the next time if that happens.
Yeah, I wasn't on my PC anyway, so I probably wouldn't have
Okay.
seen it. But I
Oh,
appreciate
okay.
it.
Right on. So shall we commit?
Just did.
If we haven't. Oh, we did. Oh, yeah, we just did. Yeah. Good. Push as well.
Push.
By the way, I think you can just push head, then the grammar, the destination branch, and it works as well.
Git push head?
Yeah, git push head destination.
I probably git push will just work, but it depends on the settings, and I'm not sure.
Yeah, it depends.
How this is configured.
Just saying, since head is shorter than your branch name.
No, I can copy the branch name from my prompt.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did that, but it's pretty fast.
Anyway, bye.
Goodbye.
Take care. See you next week.